Sanibonani Makaya. It's your boy Tweezy. Igama lami lamampela Tumelo Thandokuhle Mathebula. Born in Dubai, raised at Jewelz Ep3, Jabulani to be.
Fuego, 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 fuego. Lomlilo yashisa ungalokos. My niggas is in jazz concourse. We pray on you niggas like all of. We pray on you niggas like all of. Lomlilo yashisa ungalokos. My niggas is in jazz concourse. We pray on you niggas like all of.
So how I found myself into music just as a craft, I had a whole lot of influences ekhaya. Abanye who were within the kwaito industry, who were actually even like performing in the kwaito industry, basebenza nabomandoza, and then I also had money that introduced me to hip hop. So ngikhule ngumuntu nje who's surrounded by music a lot, and just the creative fields like drawing, jiva, breakdancing, and everything. So it was easy for me to gravitate to that mankula, and yeah.
Okay, then what's the first software that you made your first beat on?
My first beat was made on FL Studio. That was around about in 2008. I thought it was a game, Free Loop Studio at first. And then I saw music, and then I started gravitating more to it, and then started becoming a passion and an obsession from love.
Alright, and then what kind of music were you listening to around this time?
Definitely the kind of music that I was listening to growing up was mainly hip hop, because like I said, I'm a hot man, but like they were big hip hop heads. So I listened to a lot of DMX, 50 Cent, Yangthola. Then the kwaito also eningi, yabo. Ngikhule ngomandozo omningi, uZola, abantu abakhuluma izitori zaselokishini. Yeah.
Okay, and then starting out with like your first beat go FL Studio, were there any producers that you looked up to around this time?
In my journey of producing, like I had a few people that I looked up to as far as the craft and how they put their whole thing together. So I think namely some of those people are Kanye West. Kanye West, especially with him, it's not just with production, it's just Umuntu and just the mentality behind him. Timberland is also a big influence. We can say abantu abafana nabo Boy Wonder as well. Then I'm a music legend esemzansi abo Chico Twala, Uskido, Mbongeni Ngema, DJ Cleo, DJ Spoo. Yo, the list is endless, honestly.
Alright, so how would you describe your style of production for people who might have not heard of your music?
More than anything, my style of production is because I believe I'm quite versatile. My whole thing with production is to create a vibe and an energy behind it, and to let the music tell a story. Because even now, when I listen to music, I get inspired by the stories that I hear in the music and the whole feel. So, angisabi ukuthi ngithathe nje yangibhakadi piano and then ngihlanganise ne-trap to just kind of create a whole new vibe, or a vibe that already exists, but to tell a particular story that needs to be told at that moment.
And then your beats and music have a lot of South African influence ranging from old school house and the legendary Brenda Fassie. Was it a conscious decision to have like a local element to your music?
Yeah, it was definitely a conscious decision to have a local element in my music, especially, it's Pumemzant, and our music market, abantu abamamela music, consumer vele. We live in a country where vele dance is such a big thing in the culture, and we gravitate towards local gakulu. So consciously vele, I made it a thing. Whenever I am making music, it needs to be South African. No matter was international with the sound, and we're gravitating towards what's happening overseas, but we need to find a way to bring it back home.
And then you've rapped and produced some of the biggest hits ever to come out of South Africa, namely All Eyes on Me with the late Kenyan Forbes. Where was your career around that time, and how did that song change your life?
when All Eyes on Me and Levels came around, I've been sasintwana mane, you know, just got out of high school, still trying to find my feet in the industry, don't know anybody like that, you know, I don't know, I think I can just call it luck as far as breaking into the industry, because it was a matter of just getting in number Keenan, you know, and fortunately for me, invited me to studio, and then I was presented with the opportunity to meet up with him a lot of times in studio. And to a certain extent, I even grew as a musician and producer, because it wasn't about just making beats anymore. It was about actually learning how the industry works, how to make music that serves the market, how to actually make hits, you know, the whole formula and how things come together in the studio. So, yeah.
Alright, and then what are some of the sacrifices you've had to make to be amongst some of the biggest people in the industry?
The sacrifices that it took for me to get to where I am, there was a lot I had to sacrifice, actually, because, you know, especially when you're young, there's this pressure, you know, you need to be hip happening, you know, you need to be, whether it's driving the latest whip or rocking the freshest clothes or whatever. I mean, in circumstances that it didn't allow me that fortune, you know, if I should call it that, I can sort of participate in such things. I didn't really have the opportunity to go to school, you know, like tertiary and everything. So all I knew was to make music and just, you know, throw my heart into my passions. And there wasn't really much to do for me. And I didn't really have any channel up as far as like activities and like things that I could get up to. So literally music is all I know. And so I decided to just say, you know what, screw everything. I'm just going into this music thing and I'm giving it my all. And yeah.
Alright, so doing what you've always dreamed of as a young Tweezy professional at the time, and having hits on one of the biggest albums to come out around that time, Levels, how did it affect your mental health after that?
Breaking into the industry it taxes into your mental health, you know, especially if you don't understand how the industry works. You know, you find yourself sort of doubting yourself and believing ukuthi izinto azihlangani, because at the end of the day, everything is a process. You know, everything has a step, and you know, you can't just go from step 2 to step 13. You actually have to go through the actual journey. You know, so you know, while you're in the journey, it can get taxing, you know, but it's very important to sort of believe in lento yenzayo. And I'm a spiritual person, like, you know, we're Christians, and as far as being Christians, we taught a lot on faith, and I think that's something that carried me throughout the journey, because whenever it would get tough, or I would believe you know, I'd find myself getting together ngizithandazela, you know, getting myself right with God and just having faith and just keeping the hope alive and just giving it my all, as if tomorrow was going to be the day where everything's going to pop off, you know, and then eventually tomorrow was really the day where things were going to pop off. So
Okay, and then last question for segment 1. What are ways in which you keep your mental health in check?
Ways that I keep my mental health in check, I think it's very important to know yourself, you know, in the sense of having a vision. You know, when you know where you're going, despite whatever it is that you come across, it's very easy for yourself to sort of pick yourself up when you know which we happy type thing, you know. I mean, I personally also am very grateful for abantu abangithandayo, even if I don't really have much or I'm not anybody to the rest of the world, you know, like family, abangani bami, you know, people that look up to umsebenzi engiwenzayo. That's the stuff that really pushes me to keep going and to actually do more. And also the opportunity to be able to serve a greater cause than what it is that I want to do. You know, like I've got big passions of ukusiza abantu vele who, like me, have potential and have these big dreams and visions of bringing life into certain ideas and visions, yamthola. So I really get inspired into trying to involve myself somewhere or another in a way where I can help without attaching myself too much in the sense of taking something out from that thing. Like I have passion in helping people put things together that will make a change in the world, pretty much.
Being popular and having resources may attract individuals who might be around you for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So what are ways in which you make sure that your surroundings are in check, you keep the right people around you?
Yeah, I mean, emhlabeni nje we deal with people. Unfortunately, ngeke sibe positive sonke ngithola. Khona abanye abanama-agenda wabo angathi nje abheke eceleni angathi asile ngithola. So, mina personally, I think the best way to sort of counter that is to preserve my relationship with people that I know they produce the same kind of energy that I give out. So that's practically my circle. And when you encounter people, vele, I think you can sort of gravitate and tell to people that you connect with. Ukuthi, okay, lo muntu lo ngathi contest ngayibhilda naye type thing. And then there's some people where nokuzwa man awazi why mara ay konke ngathi off. Yabo. I mean, give people a chance, of course, but in moments where intuition, I'm a person who believes in intuition. I'm told in intuition in situations where I've never really known how to handle certain situations. My intuition will sort of tell me, will say, hey, this is probably a good idea. This is probably something that you sort of need to gravitate away from. So just being observant and, environmentally aware, kuyasiza, because like it will help you sort of realize all the spaces that you sort of need to be involved in and the spaces that you sort of need to move away from.
Okay. And then when building a working relationship with an artist, what are the qualities that you look out for or that you prefer in them?
I think the best qualities that make the best relationships is to have a kind of relationship with umuntu where you guys connect with one another without even trying hard. There's certain people nje that you just gravitate towards to because you share common ideas. You're dealing with abantu vele that have vision, and labo bantu vele, they don't really have other motives. Like, they're so concerned with the vision and lento abayenzayo that they put their all into that. And great minds think alike. Like attracts like. So it's not complicated for you to sort of link up with abantu abafana nawe ngomqondo and just by energy and vision. So mina personally, I found myself in a lot of situations where a studio, I gravitate to abantu nje just njengokenza beat. It's like, one producer will say, yeah, faki kick la, whatever, we share idea. Next thing we find ourselves, it's been years and we still got a strong relationship, and we always prioritize building and just growing with each other. So just naturally connecting and just having a common vision will take you guys probably to the furthest places.
Okay. And then making beats changed your life. So what are ways in which it changed your family's life in ways you never thought it would?
Yeah, I mean, the work that I've done in the music industry has definitely changed my life, Like I said, I mean, bengumuntu nje who didn't really have much opportunities handed to me. There wasn't really much for me to do. So it gave me a platform to provide, of course. Ngiyakwazi ukubeka ukudla etafuleni. Ngiyakwazi ukugqoka into engiyithandayo at times. I can get to do things that I like to do. I have also the opportunity to do things that make a difference, whether it's to, help out people who are in less fortunate circumstances, or whether it's in just helping people who are building something vele and they don't really have the means to, make all their activities and ideas come to life. Whatever it is that I can contribute, sometimes kuba dope, it's okay. Loke ngikwazi ukukwenza, it can make a difference, so I'm really grateful for such, and yeah, I'm grateful.
And then you've won prestigious awards throughout your career and worked with the biggest artists in the continent and internationally. Name one thing that's on your bucket list.
So as far as my vision, I guess, or my personal interests, I have a few things really that I have on my bucket list that I would like to achieve, you know. I think mainly I would like to contribute to making a change elokishini. Like I'm very passionate about seeing ngibuye elokishini nami as a person who's a creative and that's passionate about, you know, the music industry and just the arts field. So one of the big takeoffs for me in my bucket list is just making a big change elokishini where people can have easier access and more resources to sort of making their dreams sort of come to reality, providing facilities and equipment and resources pretty much that make it better and easier for people to sort of pursue the career fields lezi abazifunayo. Yangithola. So like I know growing up, I really wished there was a lot of studios elokishini where I could go and like produce and learn about the industry, meet up with other creatives that I can collaborate with. There wasn't really much of that. So it's a big passion and wish and into engifuna ukuyenza ukuthi ngihlangane nabanye abantu and create this angazi ngizoyibiza ngani, but you know, contribute to this great change elokishini where we'll have more facilities and resources where people can pursue their desired fields that they want to do ngey'mpilo zabo.
Okay. And then what's the biggest lesson that you've ever had to learn in the industry?
I think the biggest lesson that I've had to learn in the industry is to serve, you know, to serve, to inspire, to do something that's bigger than you. Because at the end of the day, I believe Tina, as people, we're all here to make a certain difference in the world. And the more you gravitate towards things that serve something that's greater than you, the more you make everlasting change. And the more you find more purpose into doing something that sort of helps you gravitate with other people and situations that really make an everlasting impact in Mhlabeni. So, yeah.
Okay. And then what's the best advice you've received that worked for your career?
The best advice that I've gotten, obviously from OG, Amahotmani, people who are just observing what I'm doing and people that just inspire me, is to always keep going, you know, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you fail, it doesn't matter if you're winning, if you keep going, there's no ways that you can possibly fail into sort of establishing lento ufuna ukuyenza, because time is just as much as people like there's this concept that I have, it's a personal concept type thing, you know, ukuthi time is sort of non-existent. What really matters is right now and the moment and what it is that's happening now, because you know whatever happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow doesn't really matter, because your life could end literally at this second. And with that in mind, it's really important to sort of prioritize all the things that you want to do and to always keep going whatever it is, in situations where you may be finding challenges or whatever it is ukuvimba, or you feel like ukuthi ayihlangani ngendlela oyibona ngayo. So you know, people always tell me keep going, and whenever I do keep going, like I find myself in situations where all my goals and my plans come together even way better than I expected it to. So I'd even tell people, you know, who'd want advice from me to keep going, you know, whether wunzima, whether you don't feel like it, whether it feels good, bad, whatever the case is, just keep moving, don't stop.
So please name 5 songs that you personally that you produced that are your personal favorites.
My personal favorite songs that I've produced. This is always a very complicated question to answer, because all my works, not abantwana bam, and you don't really have like a favorite child, I believe. But I'd say Some Dope is up there. Amen is also up there because, like I said, I gravitate towards collaboration, and especially in production, when you work with other producers, there's certain music that you make that you can't make moyenzwi one. Yangthola. So yeah, Amen is up there. King and Nasty C, yeah, Nasty's a beast, man. I feel like everything that Nasty does is just, and what he did on King Vele featuring ASAP Ferg, they just took it to the top. What else? Uamuhlega Slade, because I was really trying something new and breaking out of my comfort zone into doing ipiano and moving into another genre and just literally doing something and it came out wonderfully. That's what, 4? That's 3. Yo. Damn. Amadimoni. Yeah, Amadimoni. I just really like that song. I almost listen to it every single day. I don't know why, but I just really love it. Number 5. Hey, I don't know, dog. Like, I love all my children, man.
Okay, no problem. And then, what advice would you give to a young teenager who wants to produce hits and win awards like yourself?
The advice I'd give to anyone who's trying to be like me or be in the position that I'm in is to, obviously have goals and dreams and everything, but, always focus on making a difference in people's lives. I've found success in situations where I was ready to commit into helping other people, sort of better their situations. For instance, I was contributing to the Levels album as a producer for me to find success as a producer and for people to actually discover my talent as a musician. It wasn't about, it was about my dream as a producer, but it was more about me serving my duties as a producer into making amazing music for the artist, for the consumers, abamamelayo, and such things, So I believe the more you serve to a greater cause, the more you find success in making your personal dreams come into a reality, and the more you sort of discover your purpose along the way.
Okay, and then how would you describe your experience with working with Rikirik and AKA the late?
Specifically Bon. Oh man, working with AKA and Rick, man, was something special. You know, especially considering Uguti Vele, they were the OGs that sort of, took me under their wing and sort of mentored me in a way according to how the industry works. Crazy enough, Ricky was, the OG that sort of even taught me things outside of the craft of music, like financial literacy. He taught me about taxes, he taught me about having vision and sort of, having a grand plan and strategy of how I want to execute my ideas. And he sort of would explain that coming from the producer side of things. Keenan Yana, he contributes to making me believe in myself because, I struggled, especially when you come from Mekas and because Mekas, it's like you don't really see yourself as someone who actually could coexist in such spaces because you feel like it's a far-fetched dream. Kind of like how you think you and working with Drake is something that would never happen just because of the idea he's an American superstar or whatever. So with such ideas or realities, there's moments where you tend to not believe in yourself or you believe and Keenan was someone who really, really contributed to my personal self-belief. I remember one time when I sent him Isim Dope and he told me, Uguti, like, I've got a special gift from God and this is gonna help in changing many lives, and I'm gonna make big change into the industry. This is before anything that I've done actually went out into the industry. And he always used to tell me, whenever we work, I've got something special, I must never give up, and I must always push. And one thing about Keenan specifically is that he had this thing of just pushing you to be better. Whether it was in you observing him just, doing his thing, or him just contributing to your personal confidence by inspiring you and just pushing you and making you believe in yourself more. So yeah, RIP to Mahut man. It's really unfortunate we're losing these people at such a young age and at a point where I personally feel like there's so much more that they could contribute into the world, but we can never question God.
And then, what can the world expect from old Tweezy in the near future?
What the world could expect from me for the near future. Personally, for me, it becomes a very tricky question to answer because, as a creative, your mind changes a lot and you have all these ideas and stuff. So again, I'm not a person who gravitates to time. I gravitate to the moment and what needs to happen right now. Right now, I'm focused on really making great change, especially Lokshini and stuff. I'm busy working with a lot of people, Base Lokshini, just trying to find myself in spaces where I can sort of help spark career abantu vele Lokshini, who I believe they have the talent and the I don't know what to call it, like I believe they're the next thing Lokshini that needs to break out, and they have sort of these marginalizations that's sort of keeping them away from actually breaking out. So I'm focused on working with Labo Bantu and helping them to break out in whatever ways that I can, within my limits, of course. I'm producing as always, I'm doing interviews to try and inspire as much as I can. And yeah, just serving. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm just trying to serve something that's greater than me, just so that I feel like actually Nami, when my time comes, when I have to get out of here, I made some positive change and contribution to the world that can inspire other people to also be great in what they do.
Excellent. And then last question, any words of encouragement, not a question, okay, any words of encouragement for people who've supported you and your dreams from day one?
First and foremost, ngicela support to every single person that's been behind me, whether it's behind the production aspect of things, or me just getting out there as an artist and just chasing my dreams of just being mainstream. I've seen some success in both as an artist and as a producer. Ngicela support abanye abantu the same way, because really support really makes a difference, especially to us creatives who really have these dreams and visions. And in moments when we're battling mental illness and doubts and all these challenges that make us feel like we're incapable of creating these things, support really goes a long way, because that's the thing that really pushes us into doing lezi zinto esifuna ukuzenza mase kunzima and we feel like we can't do it. We find some faith and courage within deep inside ourselves ukuthi siyenze lento ekumele siyenze, and that comes from all your support. So personally ngiyabonga abafethu, God bless you all, and yeah, I pray God really helps all you guys achieve your dreams, and like zonke izinto zenu zihlangane ngendlela ekumele zihlangane ngayo.